Welcome back to Morning Footy. We've got lots of NWSL action this weekend to look forward to. Expansion side Denver Summit is hosting top of the table side San Diego Wave. Now, two teams in the top half of the table, Seattle Reign and Utah Royals. They're going head-to-head this weekend. And the absolute marquee matchup of this weekend has to be Washington Spirit, who are taking on KC Current. Croy Bethune is back in Washington, D.C. But, Lisa, it is still going to look a little weird to me to not see her in a Spirit uniform.
Do you think the fans are going to be able to contain themselves and not cheer for her? She's so lovable.
She truly is. I got to interview her in the semifinal last year, and she was just absolutely amazing. We were trying to do an interview, and everybody around was just absolutely screaming and yelling. I was like, let's take a second before we do the interview because we can't hear each other.
She's a sweetheart. I mean, everyone loves her, and how can you not? She's also so polite. Every time I talk to her, it's yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And I'm like, Croy, I'm not, come on.
Like, I'm not that old. Come on, I'm one of you. But how incredible is this match going to be this weekend? Because these are two sides, Lisa, that you had said it before that this honestly maybe should have been the NWSL final last year if things had really changed for the Current. But they're looking very different at the start of this season.
And they shouldn't be. Both of the rosters are relatively the same, aside from the Croy Bethune move going from Washington to Kansas City. It's been a sluggish start for both of these sides this year in the NWSL. Just one win for Washington. Kansas City, they picked up their second win just before the international break, and it was against Gotham. So a big statement win, 2-1. The way you look at this NWSL season, or at least the way I'm approaching it, the first 4 weeks of the season have already happened. Then there was that 2-week international break. There's now 6 weeks before the World Cup week. This is a chance for teams that started off pretty sluggish to turn around their season, to pick up a really big statement win. For Washington and Kansas City, that is this game that's happening Friday night. They have to be more convicted in what they're doing. For Kansas City, they could blame it on some of the injuries that they were plagued with for preseason and the first couple weeks of the season. Temwa Shawinga is now back. She only played 45 minutes right before the international break. She played over the break with Kansas City in the Teal Rising Cup, scored a goal. So Shawinga is going to be firing on all cylinders. Michelle Cooper is feeling pretty good. But for Washington Spirit, they have to try to find a way to get all their front runners on the same page with Kouassi, Trinity Rodman, Sofia Cantore. How can they get these players on the pitch at the same time, creating together and be dominant? We're only 4 weeks in. There's still a lot of time left to play, but this is a game for both of these sides to make a statement and say the first 4 weeks, that wasn't us. Now we are here to play, here to compete, and here to win.
Do you think Croy Bethune is coming into this wanting to maybe make a statement of her own against her former club?
Absolutely, Claudia. No player goes against their former club where they were drafted to, or they spent years playing, and says, oh, yeah, this is just like any other game. This is a huge game for her. Absolutely, especially to be playing back at Audi Field. She's going to want to make a statement. I bet she's already got her celebration planned for when she scores.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. Well, actually, I don't know if I want to see that because that would mean that she's scoring against my Spirit side. All right, so lots of storylines. As you said, you've kind of broken up this season into a couple little segments. So we're kind of in this second segment bit right now. Looking at some of the storylines, who has been your biggest surprise of the season up until this point?
The Portland Thorns. They sit number 2 in the table right now, and they've only dropped points in 2 games with a loss and a draw. And it's so surprising because 2 days before their first game, Claudia, they didn't even have a head coach in the Pacific Northwest. Robert Villaham came in just 1 day before their first game, and he said, all right, Sarah Loudon, whatever you did during the preseason, I'm going to keep it status quo. And they are so, the Thorns, convicted in how they're playing right now. It's smooth between the lines. They're playing a lot through Olivia Moultrie in the midfield, really relying on her to be a playmaker, which she can do. She should be doing, and they're not making things too complicated. It's been an impressive start for Portland Thorns. Plus, Sophia Wilson, she's coming back into form. She's still knocking on the door, waiting for her first goal since having her baby.
Is this something you see them being able to sustain in the coming weeks, especially in the next, 5-6 weeks before the World Cup break?
I do see Portland Thorns being able to sustain the play that they're doing right now because it's nothing too out of the box or too crazy. It's actually pretty simple in the way that they're playing because they're looking to move the ball through the lines. They play a lot through Olivia Moultrie, but they're not afraid to go direct at times when they can. And it's really just into their own game plan. plan, how they want to do. Defensively, they're organized behind the ball. They understand transition moments and how to mitigate them against their opposition, and they're sticking to the game plan. It's such an honest play that we're seeing from the Thorns, but every single player is bought into how they're doing it. Even the reserves that are coming in off the bench, they understand how to play, and it's a really conviction-focused team and style right now.
So Portland this weekend, they're going to be taking on Angel City, who is sitting fourth place right now, so just 2 spots under Portland in the standings. I mean, how do you potentially see this match playing out, and is Angel City also a team that we should be keeping an eye on?
Absolutely, because I just said for Portland Thorns, they're going to be able to sustain this play throughout the year. I'm not so sure about Angel City. They've been a storyline to start this year. Angel City sits in 4th right now, and when they came into the league a few years ago, it was Hollywood lights, as bright as could be, the stars that they brought in and built their team around, and they said, we want to be a championship winning side. And they have not done that at all in their first 3 seasons in the NWSL. This is the first time I'm seeing Angel City actually meet the standard of what the club and the city wants them to be. Alex Strauss, the head coach, came in midseason last year. He's now had time with this group to implement his style and understand how the league works with the travel, the physicality. He brought in Svennis Jonsdottir, the Icelandic forward. It took her a little bit to get used to this league and this team. She's now firing on all cylinders, and they're stacked down the spine with Svennis Jonsdottir and Riley Tiernan up top. Then in the midfield, you have Ari Borges and Neely Martin. Emily Sams they bring in this offseason window in the winter to really solidify things. Plus, Giselle Thompson has been playing so outstanding. She's got that national team rub coming back from playing with the U.S. women's national team. This is a group that has proven that they can score 10 goals in their first 4 games, but can they maintain that moving forward? Over the next 4 weeks, Angel City will play Portland Thorns twice and San Diego Wave. San Diego Wave is at the top of the table. So far this season, Angel City has only played bottom half of the table teams, Chicago, Houston, Bay. Against tougher competition, Angel City is a storyline to watch. Can they maintain the pressure that they're putting on right now?
Now, you're talking about bottom half of the table. Reigning champions right now, Gotham, are in that bottom half of the table. Why have they been such a disappointment so far this season?
Gotham cannot score. They cannot find the back of the net. If you have just 1 win through your first 5 games and you've only scored 2 goals, you sit in 13th as the reigning champions. That is not good enough for Gotham FC. Juan Carlos Amorós has built a tremendous team with goal scorers, with big personalities. Why can't they find the back of the net? They rely on Esther, who carried them through the regular season last year, through the playoffs, to that championship win. You can't rely on one player right now. With Rose Lavelle up top, Jaden Shaw, Midge Purse, Esther, there are a plethora of creative players that know how to find spaces, create for themselves, create for others, but we haven't seen it all put together on the same pitch right now. It's worrying for Gotham. You talk about the first 4 weeks of the season. They have to forget those 4 weeks, focus on these next 6, and say, we need to start picking up points and do it really consistently before the World Cup break.
Have they changed anything in their style of play? Have players shifted around? Why is it that they can't score like we're so used to seeing from these players?
Well, even last year, Gotham struggled they weren't putting up 4 or 5 goals a game. They've never really been that team. They're really defensively sound, and that's what they rely on, with Ann Katrenberger in goal, and then they have Jess Carter, Tierna Davidson coming back in that center back role. Defensively is where they kickstart their game plan, and then they build out from there. But when you're continuously leaking goals in the back, you have to be able to create more. Midge Purse has been injured last year, and she's dealt with hot and cold streaks. If she can start hitting good form, she's going to be lethal down that flank, because she is one of the best crossers that the NWSL has. She picks out players, whether it's near runners, late runners, Rose Lavelle coming into the box. It's all getting on the same page in that front line. Time will tell for this Gotham side if they can repeat this year.
And you hope that they will be able to turn things around, because they've got an absolutely stacked roster. You go down the line, you go, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
So they should be able to score more than 2 goals in their first 5 games. It's not good enough by Gotham at all.
Yeah, well, they're hoping to change things around, especially this weekend. They will be taking on Bay FC at 1 p.m. Eastern. It is the afternoon game tomorrow. You can catch it on CBS and Paramount Plus. We're going to take a quick break here on Morning Footy, because while things are getting started here stateside, there's a lot of players overseas whose contracts expire this summer. We'll dive into that on the other side.